Hey guys, you would like to know what is the secret of accounting equation? How we gonna decrease and increase one side, other side, and at the end of the day, still they are balanced. There are assets, capital, liability, revenue and expense which come, go, and lots of transactions, but still they are balanced in the accounting. So continue with us till end of the video. This is Milad Akbari from Akbari Education. Today we are here to cover the secret of accounting equation. Lots of us hear about that, but what are the secret behind that? How the changes which come in accounting equation in transactions of accounting system still does not affect the balance exists between that. We will continue with the video. The first what we cover is the accounting equation, the examples related to that, and some practice questions we will cover in this video. First of all, the formula about the accounting equation, or why the balance sheet is equal, which basis is about the accounting equation. The formula about accounting equation is assets equal to capital plus liability. Asset is equal to capital plus liability. It means the total capital and liability of the business should be equal to the asset of the business. What does it mean? First of all, about the elements of financial statement, I have another video which discussed in detail about the sources of the finance and how they are utilized. So the link is here, you can check it and you can gain more information about that. But to briefly go ahead with that, capital and liability are the sources of the finance for the company. They are the money which is received whether from the owner of the business or as a loan. And these sources of the finance will come together and we will purchase the asset. Suppose if we have received about $1,000 from the owner of the business and about $1,000 as the loan, this is $2,000 we have received as a source of finance. And in other side, if we're gonna purchase the furniture, so the asset available should be equal to the sources of the finance. So $2,000, the capital and liability will be equal to the asset of the business. That's why the balances will be equal all the time. But of course, in advanced level or in most of the certifications, there will be a replacement in this formula. Suppose if you would like to find out what is the capital will be, it will still here, and the liability will be transferred there with the positive will be changing to the negative sign. So the asset minus liability will be equal to the capital of the business. And in other words, asset minus liability is the net asset of the business. So it will end up to the net asset of the business, and the net asset of the business is equal to capital, or what is pending to the owner after deduction of the liabilities. One thing is clear, that the whole transactions of the company is not limited to this point, to this formula only. We have lots of points such as revenue and expenditure and withdrawal, which can be inserted into this formula. So in such a case, if we insert that, assets will be equal to capital. We have the revenue, which is another sources of inflow to the business. So the revenue will be added. Revenue will be added, and the expense is the outflow from the sources of the business. This is outflow of the business. So expense will be deducted. And beside that, suppose the owner of the company and come to the business and withdraw some cash. That amount is also deduction to this formula. We will subtract the withdrawal And at the end of the case, we have another source of fund to the business, which was liability. So plus liability. This is the formula. You can find out here that we have something as the name of revenue minus expense. And if you remember, revenue minus expense from the performance statement of performance, it will end up to whether profit or the loss to the business. So we can easily rephrase that. And instead of that, we can say profit or loss. Of course, if there is a profit or addition to the capital of the business, it will be added. If there is a loss, there will be deduction to the capital of the business. Let's go a bit further to make it a bit complicated. Another formula exists for the companies which do not have proper accounting system, or for most of the certifications and master degree, undergraduate degree questions in this part, to find out the profit of the business. Suppose, let me go by an example. After that I will explain the formula which is available in the slide shown to you. Suppose there is a company with one owner, sole proprietor. He started the business with some amount. He said, I have this much amount at the beginning of the year, and now at the end of the year I have this much amount, and this is the difference between them. I remember I have withdrawn such amount from the company during month of June, and I have invested back on September this much amount back to the business. So, but I am not sure what is the profit of the company. To find out the profit of the company, we can have another formula, which the profit of the business is equal to the changes in capital of the business. For the changes, we can say closing balance of the capital minus opening balance. This will show us the change in capital of the business, means increase and decrease which come during the year, plus the drawings or withdrawal, which is withdrawn by the owner from the business. That should be added back to find out the net changes or the profit of the company, plus minus capital introduced, CI. We can explain it CI. Capital introduced, what the investor brought to the business, we will deduct it back to find out the profit, exactly the profit of the company. This formula can be used to find out that profit if there is no proper accounting system, or the business is in a startup, they did not hire somebody who do properly the accounting system of that company. That's why we can find by this formula what is the profit of the company. Let's continue. We have, as always, we have the example here. This example has 6 parts. With the part 1, we will try to apply that in accounting equation and the effect of that, and how it will end up again with the same point that they are still balanced. Let's write our accounting equation. Asset is equal to capital plus liability. That's enough. Let's write abbreviation. For the part 1 of example, we have supposed that Hopper puts $10,000 into his business to set it up and pays this amount into business bank account. He brought some cash to the business as initial capital of the business. Of course, one thing will be increasing is $10,000 to the capital of that owner, but that amount comes to the bank account. To the bank account there will be $10,000 addition. So of course, what is here that we currently have $10,000. Still both sides are balanced, affected 2 sides. For the part 2, they mentioned that Hopper buys furniture for the shop for $3,500, paying the supplier out of the business bank account. He have purchased some furniture for the business. That furniture is addition to the business. Of course, furniture is added by $3,500. $3,500. But one point to remember, this amount has been paid from the bank account. So if the $10,000 is reduced by $3,500, the remaining balance will be $6,500. So this $6,500 is the remaining balance. $6,500 plus $3,500 will end up to $10,000. And still, two sides of this equation is balance. Let's continue. For part 3 of the example, said that now Hopper spends a further $4,500 to buy coffee making equipment. So he purchased another equipment, coffee making equipment, and that is for $4,500. So how we gonna record that? $4,500 is addition to the asset as the name of equipment. It's coffee making equipment. That equipment has been added to the business for how much? $4,500. But of course he paid from his bank account. He paid the cash for that. So it's $6,500 minus $4,500. The remaining balance will be $2,000. 3,500 plus 4,500 will end up to 8,000. 8,000 plus 2,000 is 10,000. Still balanced with the changes come to the business. Continue. Hopper persuades his bank to lend $3,000 to develop the business. This is the point he receives some loan, another source of finance for the business, as a liability to the business. So one thing is clear, that the liability of the business increased by how much? By 3,000. This is $3,000 we have received as a liability to the business, and it will be added to the bank account. 3,000 plus the 2,000 available, the balance will reach to 5,000. We have 8,000 plus 5,000 equal to 13,000. Another side is still 13,000, the same balance. Let's continue. Part 5, suppose that Hopper now buys coffee, tea, milk, sugar, biscuits, and cakes for $1,700 and pays in cash from the business bank account. So he purchased some inventory. Of course, continue with the channel. We will talk about International Accounting Standard 2, which totally discuss about inventory and how we're gonna record that, the methods of reporting, and everything will be covered there. But for the meanwhile, we will consider that $1,700 of inventory as a purchase, as an expense to the business. He purchased some inventory of $1,700. So the level of purchases or inventory is $1,700. There is increase in asset of the business, but he have paid that amount from his bank account. So if we deduct the $1,700 from 5,000, the remaining balance will be $3,300. $3,300. Both sides is still $13,000. You can calculate that. You can pause the video and calculate that again. It's still $13,000. And for the part 6, suppose that in his first day of trading, Hopper uses up $1,000 of his inventory. From this $1,700, he used $1,000 and makes sales totaling $1,500. All his sales are in cash, and in other words, he makes profit of $500 for that day. So he used $1,000 from this one, and against that he generated $1,500 revenue, and that revenue is in type of cash. To find out, when he used $1,000 from that, so the remaining balance will be $700, and $1,500 has come to the cash of the business. If we add the $1,500 with $3,300 will be $4,800. $3,300 plus $1,500 will be $4,800. But in other side of the business, in other side of the equation, we have two parts, which is revenue and expense. I told you in the formula, you can write it revenue minus expense, or directly insert the profit to that. So we can say there is plus of $1,500 to the business as the revenue. This is source of fund to come to the business, minus the expense of $1,000. The remaining balance will end up again to what amount? $500. So you can directly write $500 as a profit, or you can expand the formula as the revenue minus expenditure of the company. Still the same answer. So you can see the magic. The magic is here. Still they are balanced with $13,500, and it will continue the same till end of all the transactions. Continue with the video. We will come to duality concept and double entry system in future videos. That's of course, if it come, I will insert the link here for you as well. But this will talk how this will be shifted to double entry system, and how still they are balanced, and how they are recording and these things. But for the main point, let's come to a dual aspect of every transaction. One thing is clear: every transaction will affect one of them, one of the elements, whether the asset, liability, expense, revenue, or whatsoever. These five will be targeted, maybe by addition or subtraction to that. It can be jointly increase in both of them, in one side increase, in the other side decrease. Let me come to that exactly. One point to remember, that in both sides at the same time we can have increase, and at the same time we can have decrease, but not in one side of that. Let me go by example. You remember he received some cash as a liability to the business, $3,000. This $3,000 was increase in the liability, but this side we have increased the level of cash available to the business. So it's both sides increase. Suppose in 15th of the month, in next 15th of the month, he paid back $1,500. The level of liability will decrease. Of course, the level of cash will also decrease on that. So both sides will increase or both sides will decrease. The same capital he invested, the level of capital increased, and the cash available inside the business has also increased. This is the secret of that. But if we go to the one side of the equation, we can say that in assets, suppose he purchased some furniture for $3,500. That's why the level of furniture has increased by $3,500. But in other side, we can say that the level of cash has decreased by $3,500. It's in same side of equation, but the changes are here, that one of the asset will increase, one another will decrease. So this is the secret behind the dual aspect of every transaction. And as I said, we will come to double entry system, which following the duality concept. The issues or the cases here, that every transaction at least will affect two sides, maybe equal and an opposite side. Opposite side means one will decrease or increase, or the other side will be in other side of the equation. Continue with us, of course, in double entry system, or the secret of double entry video, which I told to you. We will discuss it further. The same of always. We have some practice questions, which are the method of now the method of most of the certifications and exams, and even those guys who are going for the written test of their new position. Lots of questions, similar question will come to them. The first question we have, is a practice question called, what is the value of Andy's opening net asset? So the question is opening net asset. They ask from us, what is the opening net asset of Andy? Andy started a business and introduced capital of $10,000. So the capital introduced is $10,000. He also obtained a loan of $6,000 to purchase non-current asset to the business. So the sources of the business, one is the loan, one is the capital, 6,000 and 10,000. The total sources of the finance will end up to 16,000. Let me write the formula. Asset equal to capital plus liability. And what was the formula for net asset? Net asset was equal to capital. Capital is equal to asset minus liability. So the capital of the business is equal to the net asset of the business. And this was initial investment, opening investment to the business. Very straightforward, we can say that 10,000 capital introduced is equal to the net asset of the business. But if we go as per the formula, the level of capital is now clear, which is based on this formula. A is not clear, but the level of capital is clear, $10,000 plus liability of the business is $6,000. Both together will end up to 16,000. So A is equal to $16,000. Asset is equal to $16,000. If we use now the second formula, the capital of the business is equal to 16,000, the total asset of the business, minus liability. Liability is how much? $6,000. So the capital of the business is equal to $10,000. This is the net asset of the business. So option C is here the correct answer. Let's go to the second one. A trader's net profit for the year may be computed by using which of the following formula? So the formula for net profit or profit calculation, let me erase that. The formula for that was P, profit equal to closing balance minus opening balance of the capital plus the drawing minus the capital introduced. You can check the points we exist. There is closing minus opening. This have a positive sign, this have a negative sign, positive and negative. By that even we can check the formula, or we can arrange the options to come to this point. But for the option A and C, we can see they mentioned that positive opening capital, positive opening capital. Of course, we have the minus opening capital here. So for that reason, we can say that option A and C is wrong, and even you can continue for further that you make sure yourself that they are wrong. We go to option B and D, which closing capital have the positive sign. Yeah, that's good. Okay, minus opening capital, both of them have minus opening capital. Okay, that portion is okay. Plus drawing, which of them? Plus drawing. Yeah, option B have plus drawing, but option D is minus drawing. So option D is wrong, and option B is the correct answer. This is a simple method you can answer in within the limit of these kind of questions. Option B is the correct one, and that's all we have covered. Thank you so much for being with us till end of the video, and remember to subscribe and press the notification button to receive the notification for similar videos. Remember to share the channel with your friends. Our goal is that we grow all together. Of course, we try our best to teach the terms and terminologies and professional studies in very, very simple examples and simple methods. And you, by subscribing and liking and commenting to us, will help us to grow our channel and reach our wise brother. Thank you.